everyone, it's Amber Spotted Elk at the Paper Owl and welcome to my channel. Today we have some fun fall DIYs in store for you. I'm so excited to get the fall season started with home decor. It's still pretty warm here in Colorado, but getting all of these fall decorations out is definitely making me ready for some cozy weather. So I hope you are too. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel. Comment below, let me know which of these projects is your favorite, and as always, if you'd like to become part of the Paper Owl family, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified every single time that I upload. Without further ado, let's get started.
Hey everyone, so we're getting started with these wooden pumpkins, and I'm just kind of taking all the raffia off and removing some of that glue. Now, I didn't really want to work on trying to get a lot of that glitter off, so we're just going to paint the other side, and we'll paint the back and just kind of paint over that glitter. It's not really going to be seen at all, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm using this red lacquer by Waverly, and it was a little too bright red for me, and so I added some black to it to get more of this like fall maroon burgundy color, which I absolutely love. And so a lot of these colors, if you have them, if you want to add like a little bit of black or brown to kind of deepen them to get that more fall color to them, that's what I suggest doing. That's what's worked well for me. So you can see I just covered up the back of that glitter, and I'm just using my heat gun because I'm too impatient to let anything dry by itself. So and I did do a couple coats because these are kind of slippery. The paint doesn't like to stick to them very well on the first coat. So I'm also going to use moss, this orange spice, and then curry. And so they turned out great. I absolutely love those colors. I decided to take this little wooden leaf that I got at the Dollar Tree as well. I painted that in like this off-white color, and then I took umber by Apple Barrel, burnt umber, and did just kind of a little bit of a dry brush over it to just kind of, I guess, give it a little more depth. And then I'm going to be gluing all of these pieces together, and I'm going to be spelling out fall, but I'm using black letters, and I knew that the black letter wasn't going to stand out very much on that dark red. So that's part of the reason I used one of the leaves, but I also like the idea of that. And so I'm just using these letters that I got from the Dollar Tree, the poster board letters, which is a great option if you don't have a Cricut or vinyl cutting machine. And then I do use a ruler to make sure that they're all kind of even so that it doesn't drive me crazy. And I use E6000 and hot glue to glue them together. And I decide to kind of off-center them a little bit so they're kind of staggered. And you'll see right here what I'm doing. I did add some of that pitberry at the top as well. And I just used a pen and kind of twirled it around the pen to give it that springy kind of look to the pitberry. But I do a couple lines of E6000 and then a line of hot glue, and this is how it turned out. I love this. You can see I added a little burlap bow at the top as well. But I just love this simple piece, and it just looks so gorgeous. I love those fall colors. So happy with how this piece turned out. And you can see my cat in the back there. He's making a debut today. Next up, we're going to make this fall tree. I've got this dowel. You could also use a broomstick from the Dollar Tree if you want to. Those are just about the same size. And I take and start this about a couple inches up because this is going to go in the foam. And so I didn't want the twine to be down there. But basically, you just have to spin the stick around. You don't have to like continuously spin the burlap twine around. So this made it go by really, really quick. And I lost some footage here, but basically I just bent these floral sticks and stuck them in that twine, added some hot glue, and then added some extra twine around ending that weren't staying very well. And then I added some extra leaves and flowers along the base of the tree and along the stems of some of the different picks that I added on. And I just absolutely love this fall tree. if you look at these online at any of the stores, you'll be lucky to find one for less than $50. Or I'm sorry, $50 or less. So I made this one, I think, for a little bit under 10 with all the different florals and everything like that. This pot I already had on hand and it was just the perfect size. So I'm gluing, so you can see I have that foam now at the bottom there. I'm gluing that down in the bottom, and then I'm going to use those rocks there on the side to make sure that it's nice and weighed down. And then I'll put Spanish moss on the top of that as well. And this seemed to hold everything really well together. Like it's really stable. It's not wobbling anywhere. And I think the Spanish moss is a good, you know, it's got that kind of like brown fall, things are dying kind of feel to it. So, and then I add a couple of the little styrofoam pumpkins from the Dollar Tree and to the base of this, and I just love the way that this tree turned out. It's super simple, super easy. I'm using the pipberry to add a stem to those. I didn't like the little stem that came with those, or no, maybe those didn't have a little stem actually. But here we go. Here's the little fall tree. I love this. I'm so excited to have all my fall stuff be out and kind of put together and just looking so well and cohesive. Sorry, my camera's like flipping around right here. But I just love the way that this tree turned out. And like I said, trees similar to this are so much more expensive, but you can fill this up with as much as you want to spend on it. You can fill it out so much or as little as you want. I love that. Next up, I'm using this pumpkin, or couple pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to save that little piece of fabric there. And then we're going to make a little pumpkin topiary. So I had a pumpkin that I had painted kind of a darker green and decided I wanted to go with some more kind of neutral colors. So I'm going back and I'm painting moss over it. And then I'm also using cashew and then that orange spice to color the other pumpkins. And basically that's it. And then we're going to connect them all together once they're painted. I did put that stem in there, and that's from one of the wood pieces that the Dollar Tree carried last year that I had left over. So we're basically just gluing those on top of each other. And I'm going to add a little burlap and twine, or burlap and twine. I'm going to add some twine and raffia and then some pipberry. You can see how I made it springy with the pen there. And I'm going to add that at the top of this topiary. So super simple, super easy, and it's such a nice little decor piece. It's going to add height to anything that you're doing. So I really love that about this piece. I love these colors. I'm going to use them in another project as well in this video, but you can see that just simple raffia and twine at the top. Again, my cat is just loving that spot back there. I could not get him to move, so apologies for that. Next up, this wreath. I'm so excited for this. I got this wreath at Goodwill for like $2. It had like some kind of ratty bird's nest thing on it, so I took that off. And basically, I'm taking these white fall leaves and pumpkins and berries and then that beautiful sunflower there and using them for this wreath. I love the white leaves and the white colors for fall. It's a great transition from summer. It just makes everything so fresh and crisp and clean. So I am absolutely loving doing this one. And it's got this nice double wreath kind of situation, so it's got a perfect spot for this little box, which is also from the Dollar Tree. I had already had this kind of stained, but basically a faux stain. It was burnt umber mixed with some water to stain that little basket there, that little box. And I just take the florals, glue them around the edges how I want them. And then I was going to paint these stems with this gold, and just to make them look a little bit different and kind of fit in a little bit better, but then I still didn't really like that. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of how the process goes sometimes. Sometimes things don't work out. So I ended up finding these little tiny sticks, and I put those in the pumpkins for their stem. And I used 3 little sticks to make it more of like a substantial looking stem. Obviously you don't have to do that. You don't, you can use the stems how they are if you'd like, but just what I ended up doing. And I just love how this turned out. So I put some, filler down at the bottom of that little basket in the middle, and then I put some raffia and then these little pumpkins, and I have this on my door. I didn't glue the pumpkins down, and it's been staying perfectly fine. They're not like falling out or anything. But here it is, and I love this. Like I said, the white is such a great transition from fall, or from summer to fall, and I love that beautiful sunflower on there. Like I said, this is on my front door, and it has not been like no problems with the pumpkins falling out or anything. And like I said, I didn't glue those down, but you absolutely could if you wanted to. I have a screen door there too, so it's not like the wind is blowing this around or anything. So do what you need to for your project. But I just absolutely love these white fall leaves. It's just such a great color. And then of course the little stems on there, and then the berries, and everything just goes so well together. Next up, I got this. This is actually a Magnolia Homes vase that I found at Goodwill, and it was a couple dollars. I think it might have been like $3. So I'm using cashew to cover the base of it. Now originally it has some speckling in it. I just didn't really like that gold rim, and I wanted it to be a little bit more warm. It wasn't quite as warm as I wanted it to be. So I added that cashew, and then I go back with some black and some brown, and I basically flick that on there to create kind of that speckled textured look, and I absolutely love this. And then I do go back with a little bit of a lighter color to add some light speckles on there as well, to really add some depth to the piece. So I absolutely love this. I think it turned out so well, and it's just a great piece for any time of the year. But it really has that warm color for those fall undertones that I really like, especially with the speckles. It just brings out so much depth. Another way you can do that is with a toothbrush. I'm just flicking my my paintbrush, like a small paintbrush, but the toothbrush method is good as well for creating those speckles. I didn't put a sheet behind this, and I wasn't thinking about it until I was like all done, but I definitely got some speckles like all over behind this thing too. So make sure you're aware of how far you're flinging your little specks when you're doing this. Just words of wisdom, I guess. So I just love these. These are the flocking balls from the Dollar Tree, but you can see those light and dark speckles on there, and it just gives it such nice depth, and I absolutely love this piece. And I'll probably end up keeping this around for winter, and who knows, maybe year round, because I just absolutely have fallen in love with it. So the flocking balls from the Dollar Tree are so gorgeous too. I absolutely love those. If you see those in your store, I would definitely pick them up. Next up, I had those like little pumpkins that I got at the Dollar Tree that were the black and orange gingham, and I decided I wanted to kind of go off of that design and make some different colors. I didn't want to do the black and orange. It looked a little too Halloween for me, but I wanted to make a garland that was going to go well with my decor. So first you just do a running stitch along here. Now if you don't want to do the sewing, you can absolutely hot glue and do kind of like a pleated edge around there and then glue it all together, and that works as well. But the running stitch really, I feel like, is more efficient if you can get some needle and thread. it really is nice because you just run that stitch all the way through and then you can just pull it tight and it cinches at the top. So I just use some filling that I had, and then you just pull that and tie it off, and that's it. You've got your little ball for your garland or whatever you want to use these for. You could also put them in like a cloche and have them be on that way. But I'm going to show you how you can do. So there's the sewing way. Now you can do it with the hot glue as well. And basically, like I said, you're creating kind of a pleat. For this one, I did put that filling in first, just to get kind of an idea of where I was at. But you go along and you basically just create kind of a crease or a pleat along the edge there, and then you can kind of bunch it together, and then you've got your little ball. And I just put some twine for the stem of these pumpkins. I made mine a little bit larger, so there's like 30, I think I did about 10 of each color, so there's about 30 little pumpkins that I did. So making these did take me a little bit longer. I did sew all of them except for like this one I'm showing you here. I think I might have did a couple other just with the glue to see which one was going to be faster, but the sewing I feel like was definitely faster, a little bit easier, not as messy. And so I think it took me about 45 minutes to do all 30 of my little pumpkins, so it wasn't too bad. I kind of just sat in front of the TV and finished them all, so it worked out. But you've got all your little pumpkins. I love these colors together. They're the same colors of my topiary that I used. And like I said, I'm just going through, I'm doubling up some of this twine that I have and then sticking it inside of the pumpkins, gluing it in there, making sure it's nice and sturdy. And then I'm going to take that twine and I'm going to string these along by their stem so that it hangs nicely, because if I try and do it by the pumpkin, they're going to kind of flop around. So by the stem is the best way to do this. You're going to want to make sure your stems are nice and secure. I laid out my pattern and started gluing these on. I used my mat below to make sure they were all about 3 inches apart, just because if you get them too close or too far apart, it does show with this unless you're putting them like right next to each other. So I do recommend trying to kind of space these out about the same length of distance apart from each other, because it, like I said, it will show if you're putting them too close or too far apart, and then your garland is just not going to look as good. So you can see I'm hanging them by the stem there, and I just absolutely love the way this came out. I'm so excited, like I said, to get these all up and put together, and it's going to be so nice. I can't wait to show you guys the full fall vignette when I get things all done. But here's a couple of those pieces all put together, and I just love these. The colors work so well together, and I'm just so happy to be doing these fall projects. I hope that you guys have enjoyed them too. Please comment below, let me know which of these projects is your favorite. Let me know what kind of fall projects you're interested in. I want to do a pumpkin video. I know a lot of people are doing pumpkin videos. If you want to see something else, definitely comment below. Let me know. I am open to any ideas that you guys have out there, so definitely let me know. I love this fall tree though. It adds so much height to an area that you're trying to decorate, so I absolutely love that. And it's just a nice piece. And again, with the white florals, this just is such a good transition. I can't say that enough times. Oh my goodness, I am so ready for fall. I hope you guys are too. I'm ready for cooler weather and sweaters and hot coffee and just all of it. So if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel. Comment below, let me know which project is your favorite. As always, if you'd like to become a member of the Paper Owl family, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified every single time that I upload. And just so you guys know, Fetch Rewards is an amazing scan your receipt app for points to earn towards gift cards. I will link my referral code down below, but thank you guys so much for watching, and happy crafting.